We'll say this, another exclusive. Canada, who called me, has it.
Good evening and welcome to Royal Daily Report, your premier destination for investigative journalism on the royal family. I'm your host, and tonight we bring you an investigation that will shock you to the core. This is a story about secrets, shadows, and a past that has been carefully hidden from the world. What you're about to hear has never been revealed like this before. Stay with us for this exclusive Royal Daily Report investigation. Before we enter this story, you should know one thing. Nothing about what you are about to hear is gentle. The whispers, the claims, the images tied to this chapter of Meghan Markle's past, none of it comes wrapped in soft edges or pleasant explanations. They come sharp, unsettling, and heavy with the weight of things people rarely say out loud. And according to those who quietly shared fragments of this history, there was a single moment, quiet, private, and startling, that allegedly left Harry frozen in disbelief. When these stories first brushed past Harry's ears, they came bundled with something else, something far more disturbing. Mentions of an old photograph, a photograph tied to rumors from a time Meghan never speaks about, a photograph people have argued over for years, a photograph that some say is real and others say is impossible. But whether real or mistaken, one thing is certain: the story behind that image is not gentle, and it is where this journey begins. It started with an image, a single still frame that floated around like a ghost story. Unclear, grainy, and just sharp enough for people to claim they recognized the face in it. Some said the image was old. Others said it came from a film most people had never seen. And a few insisted that the woman in the picture looked exactly like Meghan Markle. Not confirmed, not authenticated, but whispered quietly, constantly. And with that strange mix of fear and fascination that only forbidden things seem to inspire. The still was said to come from a hardcore adult film, something filmed long before Meghan ever walked onto the set of Suits. And although nobody stepped forward with solid proof, the rumor refused to disappear. Every few years, the image resurfaced, bringing the same unsettling question with it. Is this really her? And that question alone became powerful. Because sometimes in the world of fame, a rumor doesn't survive because it's true. It survives because people believe it could be. Before Meghan had the pearls, the titles, or the photographs in Buckingham Palace, she had this shadow following her. A shadow made of claims, half-stories, and unresolved mysteries. And when people asked where the image came from, the answer was always the same: it's from the tape. But the strange part was, no one had ever seen this tape. No one could confirm where it came from. Yet the still image remained. And like any good story, the unanswered questions only made it louder. If the photograph was the spark, then the tape was the wildfire. The story claimed that Meghan starred in a film so explicit, so over the top, that even describing it became a rumor in itself. According to whispers, the film was known for an infamous line that it used all 18 holes, a crude metaphor meant to shock anyone who heard it. People repeated this claim not because they had watched the film, because hardly anyone claimed they had. Instead, it survived the way campfire stories do, passed from voice to voice. Always slightly exaggerated, always slightly darker. But what made the rumor powerful wasn't the tape itself. It was the possibility that such a thing could have happened during Meghan's early years in Hollywood, time of unstable work, constant auditions, and long stretches where money didn't come easy. The tape became a symbol of the gap between who she became and who she might have been before the world was watching. But to understand why this rumor stuck so fiercely, you must first understand the world Meghan was living in before she had fame, fortune, or a royal title. And that world was not the polished world people know today. Before we continue, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Daily Report. Hit that bell icon right now so you never miss our exclusive investigations. We are the only channel bringing you these shocking revelations about the royal family. Before the magazine covers, before the royal wedding, before her name became global, Meghan Markle was like thousands of other aspiring actors in Los Angeles, hopeful, talented, and struggling to stay afloat. The early Hollywood years are rarely glamorous. Most days are spent racing between auditions, repeating the same lines for casting directors who forget your face before you even leave the room. Months go by without a paycheck. Bills stack up, and the dream that once felt bright begins to flicker. Actors take whatever work they can find. Serving tables, valet, parking, retail, hosting events, modeling gigs that pay almost nothing, and sometimes work that pushes right up against the edge of comfort. Many actors who later became world famous once appeared in roles or photo shoots. They wish they could erase softcore projects, adult-themed films, or compromising photos taken in the name of survival. This is not unusual. It is simply the part of Hollywood no one talks about. And Meghan was not an exception to this struggle. She lived in that world, the world where reputation, opportunity, and financial survival mix like an unpredictable storm. It was a world that demands sacrifice and offers no guarantees. A world where some people come out shining while others carry whispers behind them for the rest of their lives. And so when rumors of a tape appeared, even without evidence, they found fertile ground. Because everyone understood just how rough those early years can be. But this is only the beginning. Because while the photograph and the tape rumor created the first shadow, the rest of Meghan's early world created the darkness behind it. Hollywood's chaos, unwritten rules, unspoken exchanges, all of that sets the stage for what comes next. And now that the foundation is laid, the story moves deeper. Behind the auditions, behind the struggle, behind the surface-level dreams, into the secret networks that shaped Meghan's rise. Now, we enter the part of Meghan's alleged past that is never printed in glossy magazines. The whispers that live in back channels, private parties, and circles of people who know how Hollywood really works. According to street-level murmurs and insider claims, Meghan was once connected to a lifestyle known quietly as dating upward, not escorting. Not traditional yachting in the literal sense, but something in between. A world where young, beautiful women were invited onto luxury yachts owned by wealthy men. Here's how the system allegedly worked. A yacht sets sail for a private trip. A billionaire hosts the event, and a curated list of women is invited women who blend beauty, ambition, charm, and discretion. Some see it as networking. Some see it as strategic dating. Others see it as an unspoken exchange company in return for access. Lifestyle perks, connections, and sometimes opportunities, according to one source's claims. Meghan balanced herself between dating and yachting during this period, not in the traditional sense, but as a form of upward mobility. Using these experiences to enter circles far beyond what a struggling actress could normally reach, this wasn't a world for everyone, but for those who played it well, it opened doors. Luxury, visibility, influence, and most importantly, connections to people who could change a career overnight. It is here, within this elusive yacht girl pipeline, that Meghan's next major step began taking shape. This world did not just introduce her to wealth, it led her into Soho House, the hidden beating heart of elite networking. And Soho House would become the most important stage of all. Before Meghan met Prince Harry, before the royal engagement, before the global headlines, there was Soho House. To most people, Soho House is just a stylish private club. But insiders know it is something else entirely. Power filters separating the masses from the influencers. The dreamers from the decision-makers. The overlooked from the chosen. This is where executives, creatives, millionaires, and rising stars blend effortlessly. Deals are made over cocktails. Friendships are formed in dim lounges. Futures are altered with a single introduction. For someone ambitious, Soho House is not just a place, it is a strategy. According to those who claim to have insight into Meghan's early years, she recognized this quickly. She understood that being in Soho House wasn't enough. She needed to be at the center of it, and that meant knowing the people who controlled access. The whispers say Meghan targeted the club with purpose. She aimed to befriend key members. She positioned herself close to people who shaped the guest lists. She integrated herself into social circles where wealthy and influential men circulated freely. This wasn't luck. This wasn't coincidence. This was calculated positioning, a step-by-step climb through one of the most powerful social networks in Los Angeles and London. And Soho House would not only elevate her public visibility, it would eventually lead her to individuals who could open doors she had only dreamed of. From here, the next part of her rise begins. The world of connections that would reshape her fate. Because entering Soho House is one thing, but navigating it successfully, that requires someone who knows how to play the game. And now the story enters that territory. The individuals, the alleged billionaires, the psychological patterns, and the final shadow that refuses to fade. You're watching Royal Daily Report, the channel that the world needs to see what we're uncovering here. Inside Soho House, power doesn't move loudly. It moves quietly in soft conversations, private dinners, and whispered invitations. And at the center of this quiet movement stood one person, Marcus Anderson. To the outside world, Marcus is simply a stylish, well-connected executive. But inside Soho House, he is much more. He is a gatekeeper, a connector, someone who knows exactly who belongs where and which introductions can change someone's life forever. According to those who claim insight into Meghan's early social climb, her relationship with Marcus wasn't accidental. It was pivotal. He was allegedly her anchor into the most exclusive circle's high-profile members. Wealthy businessmen, creatives with global influence, private events, where opportunity floated in the air like perfume. Marcus had the access. Meghan had the charm. Together, according to insiders, they formed a partnership of synergy. He opened the door, and she walked through it with confidence and intention. This connection placed her directly in the path of the next figure in our story, a man whose wealth and influence stretched far beyond Soho House's walls. A man whose name would become part of an even bigger whisper. While many wealthy men passed through Soho House, one stood out because of the role he allegedly played in Meghan's rise. Ronald Markle wasn't just a member. He wasn't just an investor. He was, according to official records, the man who acquired Soho House in 2014, placing him in a position of immense influence within the organization. Markle was a billionaire with ties to politics, business, entertainment, and the private luxury circuit. A man whose orbit included some of the most powerful people in the world. And according to claims whispered over the years, Meghan may have crossed paths with him in a way that was more than casual. Source-level allegations suggest she may have engaged in a romantic or intimate relationship with Markle for affection, but for advancement, a claim that she allegedly slept with the boss to strengthen her positioning inside Soho House's upper tiers. Now, to be clear, there is no confirmed evidence that this occurred. It remains an allegation tied to Meghan's early reputation and the social circles she navigated. But in the world of elites, it's not the proven actions that matter. It is the whispers of what might have happened behind closed doors. These whispers claimed this alleged connection helped Meghan fast-track her social ascent from a struggling actress trying to find footing to a woman, sitting across from millionaires, producers, and international power players. And once a person enters these circles, their world begins to change. Their opportunities expand. Their visibility grows. Their reputation transforms in ways both bright and dark. This leads us to something deeper, not about a single photograph or a single rumor, but about the way Meghan allegedly operated, the patterns people claimed to see, and the psychology that some say guided her every move. There is a point in every story where the individual at the center stops looking like a mystery and begins looking like a pattern. For Meghan, that pattern, according to analysts and source-level claims, can be found in her relationships. This chapter is not about romance, it's about strategy. According to one psychological profile, Meghan exhibits signs of what is called a somatic narcissistic pattern, a type often associated with using physical attraction and intimacy as tools for influence. Again, not proven, not diagnosed, but alleged in discussions surrounding her behavior and history. The pattern looks like this: charm first, seduction second, attachment third. Then, once the bond is secured, the ascent begins. Claims suggest this pattern appeared in her marriage to Trevor Engelson, her relationship with chef Corey Vitt, and eventually her whirlwind relationship with Prince Harry. In each case, seduction wasn't just emotional, it was strategic, serving as a bridge towards stability, status, or opportunity. This psychological lens doesn't accuse, it explains why certain rumors cling to Meghan with such determination. Because when a person is believed to use beauty and desire as stepping stones, every whisper of a yacht trip, a billionaire connection, or a porn-related rumor gains a deeper, more ominous context. And that brings us to the final chapter, the one that binds this entire exposé into a single haunting truth. This is Royal Daily Report, and we're not afraid to bring you the stories others won't touch. Subscribe right now and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single breaking investigation. Every story has an ending, but not every ending gives answers.